Kurunji Senior Secondary School, CBSE, Namakkal.
Successful result producing school in state every year.
Administered by the Board of Directors with over 35 years of experience in the teaching field.
Special attention on art, craft, music, dance, silambam, yoga, skating and karate.
Focus on Hindi Sabha and Spell Bee Olympiad exams.
Smart class for effective and innovative learning and well-furnished library.
Solitary importance on sports and games in state and national level.
WhatsApp facilities to know activities of students and school inside the campus.
NEET, JEE, IIT coaching experts from Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh along with our effective teachers.
Admission registration for classes LKG to +2.
Kurunji Educational Institution, Kavetipatti, Namakkal. Admission in progress. CBSE, KG to 12, contact 9025895176. Metric 6 to 12, contact 9344567484. For online admission, log on to www.kurunjischoolnkl.in.
In continuation to the last class, in this class we are going to discuss about Carnot engine, which works based on thermodynamics second law. So that is what second law of thermodynamics. So in our previous class, we discussed what is second law of thermodynamics, right? There are two statements. One is Kelvin-Planck statement, another one is Clausius statement. See, what is Kelvin-Planck statement means? No process is possible whose sole result is the absorption of heat from a reservoir and the complete conversion of the heat into work. Right? Similarly, what is Clausius statement means? No process is possible whose sole result is the transfer of heat from a colder object to a hotter object. I'll repeat once again the Clausius statement. No process is possible whose sole result is the transfer of heat from a colder object to a hotter object. Right? These are the two statements of second law of thermodynamics. One is Kelvin-Planck statement, another one is Clausius statement. Right? Even from our previous discussion, we also discussed what is efficiency. What is efficiency in case of heat engine, and what is the coefficient of performance in case of refrigerator and heat pumps. So here efficiency is a very important topic, and regarding that heat engine, we are also going to discuss one more heat engine, and which is very important, designed by the scientist Carnot, namely Carnot engine. That is our discussion now. See here. Suppose we have a hot reservoir. Suppose we have a hot reservoir at temperature T1 and a cold reservoir at temperature T2. Full stop. See, what is the maximum efficiency possible for a heat engine? What is the maximum efficiency possible for a heat engine operating between the two reservoirs? What is the maximum efficiency possible for a heat engine operating between the two reservoirs, and what cycle of processes should be adopted to achieve the maximum efficiency? See, this is the important information. Based on this, we are going to analyze the Carnot engine. So what is that important information means? You please be focused. What is the maximum efficiency possible for a heat engine operating between the two reservoirs? That is one thing. And next, what cycle of processes should be adapted to achieve the maximum efficiency? To achieve the maximum efficiency. This is the second one, right? So in these two things, we have to see a Carnot engine, which is also a heat engine designed by the famous scientist Carnot. You can see here. That is what Sadi Carnot. You can see Sadi Carnot, a French engineer, first considered this equation in 1824. Sadi Carnot, a French engineer, first considered this equation in 1824. That's what we are going to discuss. What is that equation? Here, interestingly, Carnot arrived at the correct answer. That is what, even though the basic concepts of heat and thermodynamics had yet to be firmly established. Firmly established. Okay, right. We expect the ideal engine operating between two temperatures to be reversible. To be reversible, engine, to be a reversible engine, irreversibility is associated with dissipative effects as remarked in our previous discussion. That is what in our previous class, and lowers efficiency. Right? See here he is giving the cause also for low efficiency. What is the cause means? See here. That ideal engine operating between two temperatures to be a reversible engine. To be a reversible engine, and he is also saying that irreversibility is associated with the dissipative effects as remarked in the preceding section and lowers efficiency. Right. A process is reversible if it is quasi-static and non-dissipative. A process is reversible if it is quasi-static and non-dissipative, right? Okay. And we can also see that, we have seen that a process is not quasi-static if it involves finite temperature difference. If it involves finite temperature difference between the system and the reservoir. Between the system and the reservoir. Okay. This implies that in a reversible heat engine, operating between two temperatures, this implies that in a reversible heat engine, operating between two temperatures, heat should be absorbed. Heat should be absorbed isothermally and released isothermally. Heat should be absorbed isothermally and should be released isothermally. See, should be released means to the cold reservoir. Should be absorbed means from the hot reservoir. We thus have identified two steps of the reversible heat engine. One step is isothermal process at temperature T1 absorbing heat Q1 from the hot reservoir, and another step, second step is isothermal process at temperature T2 releasing heat Q2 to the cold reservoir. Okay. So these are the two steps which are involved here to discuss this process. That is what isothermally, heat absorbing and heat releasing. Now see here, to complete a cycle, we need to take the system from temperature T1 to T2 and then back from temperature T2 to T1, right? Okay. Which processes should we employ for this purpose that are reversible? Should we use for this purpose that are reversible, right? See, a little reflection shows that we can only adapt reversible adiabatic processes. For these purposes. If we use any other process that is not adiabatic, say for example in isochoric process, to take the system from one temperature to another, we shall need a series of reservoirs in the temperature range, that is from T2 to T1, to ensure that at each stage the process is quasi-static. See, what is quasi-static process and what is isothermal process, what is isochoric process, what is adiabatic process, what is cyclic process, these and all we discussed in our previous classes. But here the thing is, we are in a discussion regarding one heat engine, that is what Carnot engine, right? And moreover, our concentration should be towards the efficiency. That is the very important thing, right? Okay. And one more thing I want to say here. If you consider, we are considering a reversible engine that operates between only two temperatures. That is what T1 and T2. That's why the adiabatic process must bring about the temperature change in the system from T1 to T2 and T2 to T1 in this engine. From T1 to T2 and T2 to T1 in this engine, right? You can see this one, that is what pressure and volume. P1, V1, T1 P2 V2 T1, P3 V3 T2 and P4 V4 T2. See what is isothermal process means? You know very well, that is what the temperature remains constant. You know what is adiabatic process means? You know that the heat energy is constant. So the no flow of heat energy from system to surroundings as well as from surroundings to system, right? Similarly, if you go for isochoric process, the volume remains constant, so the change in volume is 0. If you come to the point of quasi-static process, you know when the system is going to get a different stages, either from P1 V1 T2 to P2 V2 T2, and then P3 V3 T3, and then coming back to P2 V2 T2, and then back to P1 V1 T1. See, quasi-static process means almost the speed is infinitely small, right? That's what I can say you regarding all the types of processes what we already discussed, right? Now we can say this one, see, we have to understand this graph, that is what graph or picture. As simple as such, you can say it is what regarding related to this topic, which is like a Carnot cycle for a heat engine with an ideal gas as the working substance. So what is the working substance? Ideal gas, right? So what is working substance for different machines, and basically what is a working substance, that's we had a discussion in our previous class, okay? So here, see, a reversible heat engine operating between two temperatures is called a Carnot engine. So he is saying that what is a Carnot engine? A reversible heat engine operating between two temperatures. A reversible heat engine operating between two temperatures is called a Carnot engine. That is one thing. And next, we have just argued that such an engine must have the following sequence of steps constituting one cycle. See, when we are going to derive an expression for the work done in case of different processes, see, the basic concept we already discussed, but here we are going to calculate the total amount of work. And finally, I already told you, our major concentration is towards the efficiency of the engine. We already spoke major information about the efficiency of engine. That is what is the efficiency, whether the 100% of efficiency is possible in case of heat engine, that and all we discussed. But here this is the engine designed by Carnot. Here he is talking about the efficiency, same related to the previous, whether it is 100% is possible or not. And I can also say that it is like what he already told, it is like Carnot engine is such an engine must have the following sequence of steps constituting one cycle, called the Carnot cycle, okay, right, shown in the figure. See, here in this picture, we have taken the working substance of the Carnot engine to be an ideal gas, okay, right. First step, this is from 1 to 2. See, the work done from 1 to 2 is equal to Q1, that is equal to mu1 R T1 ln V2 by V1. See, this formula we already discussed, but here by applying that formula to this situation, we are getting this conclusion or this output. That is, work done from 1 to 2, Q1 is equal to mu1 R T1 ln V2 by V1. See, here this what we can say, here also T1, here also T1. So this is what isothermal expansion. No, when the temperature is constant, it is considered to be as isothermal process. Okay, isothermal expansion. See, so this is from step 1 to 2 is isothermal expansion of the gas, taking its state from P1 V1 T1 to the P2 V2 T1. Right? Okay. The heat absorbed by the gas Q1 from the reservoir at temperature T1. The heat absorbed by the gas Q1 from the reservoir at temperature T1 is given by this equation. That is what 12.12. That's what we already discussed. So what is that equation means? I can tell you, that is what we had in our previous classes. That is W is equal to mu RT into ln V2 by V1. That's we are applying here, so that we are getting mu1 R T1 ln into V2 by V1, because R value will not change, no, that is. Now, this is the expression, right? Next, step 2 to 3. In case of step 2 to 3, see the temperature is changing and pressure also changing and volume also changing, but heat energy is constant. That's why it is adiabatic process. See step 2 to 3, adiabatic expansion of the gas from P to V to T1, from P to V to T1 to P3 V3 T3, sorry, P3 V3 T2. Okay, right. See, all are going to change. Pressure, volume, and temperature all are going to change. So, in this case, in this step 2 to 3, the work done by the gas, work done by the gas will become like W2 to 3 mu R into T1 minus T2 divided by gamma minus 1, mu R into T1 minus T2 divided by gamma minus 1. That is what from step 2 to 3, right. Next, step 3 to 4, this is step 3 to 4, and in case of step 3 to 4, see, you can see here, it is P3 V3 T2 and P4 V4 T2. See, all values are going to change except temperature. See, pressure is going to change, volume is going to change, but temperature is not going to change. When the temperature is constant, this is what isothermal. No? So, in case of this step 3 to 4, isothermal compression of the gas from P3 V3 T2 to P4 V4 T2. Here, you can calculate the amount of work done on the gas by the environment like this. This is what W3 to 4 Q2 is equal to mu R T2, mu R T2, L and V3 by V4, L and V3 by V4. Okay, right, that is. See here, so mu R T2 ln V3 by V4. This is the amount of work done regarding isothermal compression of the gas from P3 V3 T2 to P4 V4 T2. Okay, right. Next, DMA, that is what step 4. Okay, step 4. See here. See, you can see it is from P4 V4 T4 to P1 V1 T1. See here also there is a change in temperature, there is a change in pressure, and there is a change in volume also. But heat energy is constant. That's why it is adiabatic compression. Adiabatic compression of the gas from P4 V4 T2 to P1 V1 T1. So here work done on the gas, work done on the gas by using the equation what we already had a discussion, we already have in our previous classes. We can write here W4 to 1 as mu R into T1 minus T2 divided by gamma minus 1. Gamma minus 1. This is the expression we are getting for amount of work in case of this stage, that is from 4 to 1. From 4 to 1. You can see here. See step 4, that is what 4 to 1, right. See, it need not to be number because it is like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. But anyhow, these are the important things. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 and 4 to 1. Okay, that is very important. Right. Now, after completion of all this discussion of all these steps, we are going to calculate total work done by the gas in one complete cycle. Total work done by the gas in one complete cycle. That is W is equal to W1 to 2 plus W2 to 3 plus minus W3 to 4 minus W4 to 1. Okay, that is. Now we are going to substitute all the things what we have. See this one and this one and this one and this one. And now finally these two will get cancelled. No, this one and this one will get cancelled because here is a plus and there is a minus. See, the work done in case of the step 2 and work done in the case of step 4 will get cancelled after substituting here. So the resultant output will be like this. See, that is mu R T1 into ln V2 by V1 minus mu R T2 into ln V3 by V4. It is V2 by V1, it is V3 by V4. Mu R T1 into ln V2 by V1 minus mu R T2 into ln V3 by V4. If the efficiency eta of the Carnot engine, the efficiency eta of the Carnot engine will become like eta is equal to W by Q1. See, it is W divided by Q1. See, this is we already discussed in our previous class, that is 1 minus Q2 by Q1. When it is 1 minus Q2 by Q1, that is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1 into 1 minus T2 by T1 into this T2 by T1 will multiply this one, that is what ln V3 by V4 divided by ln V2 by V1. This is okay, right. Now, since step 2 to 3 is an adiabatic process, am I correct or not? Because this is adiabatic process only, no. This is 2 to 3. Here temperature is changing. So temperature is changing from T1 to T2, and pressure volume also changing. Then finally here heat energy is constant. That is what adiabatic process. Adiabatic process. Now, since step 2 to 3 is an adiabatic process, T1 into V2 to the power of gamma minus 1, T1 into V2 to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 into V3 to the power of gamma minus 1. T1 into V2 to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to, because this expression we are getting from the formula or from the relation, that is T V to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. T V to the power of T V to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to constant. T is the temperature and V is the volume. So from that we are writing this expression, that is here T1 V2 to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V3 to the power of gamma minus 1. Right. See, this is like one expression, right? We are going to utilize this one in our future, I mean next situation. But anyhow here V2 by V3 is equal to, from this we are writing V2 by V3 is equal T2 by T1 whole power 1 by gamma minus 1. V2 by V3 is equal to T2 by T1. V2 by V3 is equal to T2 by T1 whole power T2 by T1 whole power 1 divided by gamma minus 1. 1 divided by gamma minus 1. So that is equation 12.29, no? Equation 12.29. This is right. Now, similarly, step 4 to 1 is also adiabatic process, no? There you can write. See how we are writing here T1 V2 to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V3 to the power of gamma minus 1. Similarly, you can write here T2 V4 to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to T1 V1 to the power of gamma minus 1. From this we are getting this one, that is V1 by V4 is equal to T2 by T1 whole power 1 by gamma minus 1. 1 by gamma minus 1. So it is like according to the textbook, this is the number of equation is 12.28 and it is 12.29, it is 12.30 and which is 12.31, and equations 12.30 and 12.31 we are getting, see from the steps 4 to 1, equations 12.30 and 12.29. These two equations we are getting by applying the expression T V to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to constant for step 2 to 3 and for step 4 to 1. So from these two things again, right, here we had two equations 12.29 and 12.30. From these two equations 12.29 and 12.30 we got V3 by V4 is equal to V2 by V1, that is like equation 12.31. That is like equation 12.31. So V3 by V4 is equal to V2 by V1, that is 12.31. And again by using the equations 12.28 and 12.31, this is 12.31, this is 12.28. See, just we are going to substitute. So you can say that 12.31 is going to substitute in 12.28. See, V3 by V4 is equal to V2 by V1, no? So when you are writing in place of V3 by V4, as V2 by V1, these two will get cancelled, no, mathematically. So when these two will get cancelled, then finally what is the efficiency of the heat engine? That is what Carnot engine, eta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. This is what Carnot engine. So whatever the discussion we had here, it is like we are going to derive a relation for the efficiency, that is eta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. Eta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. Just we imagine one particular system and we took 4 different stages or steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3 and step 4. See what is happening when gas is going to change from one particular step to another particular step, right? From here to here and here to here and here to there and here to there, like that. So in these 4 steps we had expression for work. But in 4 steps there is also difference, because it is first step and third step is like isothermal process. First step and third step like isothermal process, because there is no change in temperature, temperature remains constant. Similarly, if you go for first step and fourth step, first step, second, first step and third step like isothermal, second step and fourth step, adiabatic, right? So there also we got expression for amount of work done like this. And here we are going to calculate the total amount of work done for one complete cycle. That's we got it as mu r T1 into ln V2 by V1 minus mu r T2 into ln V3 by V4. There itself the efficiency eta of the Carnot engine will become like eta is equal to W by Q1, that is equal to 1 minus Q2 by Q1, that is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1 into ln V3 by V4 divided by ln V2 by V1. It is like equation 12.28. Since step 2 to 3 is an adiabatic process, here Tv to the power of gamma minus 1 is equal to constant, no? By applying that relation for step 2 to 3 and step 4 to 1, we are getting two equations like 12.29 and 12.30. And from these two we are getting one more equation, that is V3 by V4 is equal to V2 by V1, right? Okay. See, finally from this 12.31 and from this that is what 12.28, from these two equations 12.28 and 12.31, we got the equation for efficiency of Carnot engine, which is 1 minus T2 by T1. Okay, right. But this discussion is not completed. In our next class, we will continue the discussion related to the Carnot engine. That will be the last class in this chapter. Okay, ma? Right. Thank you.